Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Robbie B, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher, Mike Haspil, and Jason Craze. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. What's happening, guys?
Yo, it's that time again. We waiting on new stuff.
I have a requirement. He says, "What's happening?" I was like, "Raining Men." I just like Rorschach chest. Just like I don't know what just happened, but I was like, I don't know why I just said that.
Tell me about your mother.
It's like when Pickle Rick was in therapy, and it's like all about eating poop.
And if you have anybody else that eats poop, please give them my card.
Look, has pictures of people eating poop.
And I'm going to throw something out here, and I'm reaching. I just want to know if I'm the only one who suspects that we might not be watching even Rick Prime anymore, because wasn't there on the interdimensional cable an entire cable channel where people were eating poop?
Yes, and see. We do know that our Morty's the right Morty, though. That's the thing. He did identify himself in the previous episode to
the Rick Squad, Squad 6.
He identified himself to Rick Squad 6.
Rick Team 6, yep.
Yeah, so we know that we are at least watching unless the Inception episode is still not canon,
Right. Yeah, who knows?
I'm pretty sure it's episode 1.
Oh, and I love that when he says that, hey, let's go get a drink, let's go tie one on, they mention Shoney's, go get a drink.
Yeah, which emotionally, Shoney's is his home, which is what he said in the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
Pretty ridiculous. I was talking to Parker the other day, the big troll that he is, and he's like, why do I get the feeling sometimes the Games Workshop is like, it's like the movie Speed. Like if they drop below 45 miles an hour on their releases every week, everything explodes. I was like, oh my God, there's so much truth to that.
It's a good analogy. I live my life by that rule.
Yeah. Wildcat.
So all Rick and Morty and Game of Thrones references aside, global warming.
There was a dragon.
There was dragons and things. So spoiler alert, there's a dragon in Game of Thrones.
Now, if I was fighting against a dragon in a classic open military style,
I'm just going to say I would have defeated that dragon with my superior ancient times military knowledge.
Rule number 1 when fighting a dragon: do not be on fire.
Don't get on fire.
Don't get on fire.
Don't get burnt. Stupids. Scrubs. Poorly trained military getting on fire. So what do we got this week, though? I know we don't have a lot of cool, sexy things to talk about, but we have a lot of releases.
Oh, there's if you wanted releases, we got releases. This is like a full sheet of paper of releases.
You got my releases for me?
Yeah, I heard you like releases, so I got releases for your releases. So coming up next week is pretty much Age of Sigmar. So kind of tilting back to all that. There is, I don't even know. Let me do some math.
I just want the record to show you almost said Age of Sigmar.
That's not true. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 new bundle boxes. Yeah, it looks like 9. So 9 new bundle boxes. Then they took the Death World box, that crazy ass Death World, Catachance, Eldar Expedite World looking terrain, broke it into 3 different boxes. You got the General's Handbook. You got cards for the General's Handbook on par with what we've seen for the data cards for 8th edition. These are the open war cards. Then we got War Scrolls coming out for 4 different factions: Bone Splitters, Iron Jaws, Beastclaw Raiders, Sylvaneth. Haven't seen the pictures of them yet. They are the same prices as the 40K ones, but they might be the big, remember the big, larger size, not the little Magic playing card size that we've seen.
I'm about to ask a stupid question.
There's no stupid questions, Haspil.
Only stupid people. Yes, I've heard that. But are there data slates / war scrolls for 40K? Have I missed that somehow? Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. So I haven't missed anything. Okay.
No, they're just like the data. So they call them the data card set, but I think it's all it is stratagems, right?
And
Psychic powers,
and stuff. Okay.
and the 6 tactical objectives that are faction specific.
Because I was about to think that I missed a product that came out, and my chip was starting to overheat.
All right. Well, it's put the tinfoil back on.
So
it's
we're
fine.
back to DEFCON 5.
Yep, it's good. It's good. Then there's 2 different audiobooks and a special web-only General's Handbook Warlord Edition for $75 whole dollars. Coming out next week, new release style. Let's see. So the breakdown of the 9, count them 9, new bundle deals is Daughters of Cain, which is $100 box set. I can't even say it with a straight face. Slaves to Darkness, $80. War Herds, which I think that's the 2 Cygors. That's $75. Or no, the Cygors and the Minotaurs, $75. Gargants, which are 2 giants for $75. Death Rattle Barrow Lords, Spiderfang Grots, $65 each. Tormented Spirits, $55, and the 4 Battle Wizards for $40 each, which is pretty incredible value if you think about it, because that's like $10 a wizard, and we all know a figure, usually characters go for more than $10. Okay, at least that's what I think. So that's the lineup for next week. Now, this week's is I can't remember a time when there wasn't Primaris Space Marines coming out, but once again, we got Primaris Space Marines. The Inceptors, those are the jump pack guys, $50 US, coming out this week, along with 3 box sets of terrain. You've got skulls, you've got vines, and you've got little carnivorous plant thingies that are coming out as well. That's a technical term. All $25 a box. Supposedly they can be molded with heat and wrapped around things and then glued down, and the paint won't crackle or anything like that. I imagine if you actually have an occasion to open up the box and actually touch them, they're gonna feel like aquarium plants, just like unpainted, which would be really interesting because we all know those are pretty cheap, right? But that being said, you can't really customize aquarium plants that as much. So I feel like it might be a little bit of a win-win depending on the actual quantity that you get in each one of these boxes. So, but overall, I think it's a good trend. I mean, accessories for your current line always means that you're doing good as a company. So we can look at that as a precedence for, how to a gauge, so to speak, as to how the Primaris Marines are doing. Oh, because they get an upgrade set as well. Plus a dice set this week for $20. So they get an upgrade set.
Like a Primaris dice set?
Yeah. Well, no. So what it looked like was it's your normal $20 set. It comes with, what is it, like 20 dice, a set of red dice, and by a set, I mean 4 red dice, 4 black dice, 4 blue dice, 4 white dice. But each one of the symbols on the 6 is something specific. Like for the white dice, it's the Apothecarion symbol. For the black dice, it's skull and crossbones for a chaplain. For the blue dice, it's the Librarius symbol. And
wait, you just said the symbols on the 6?
The symbol's on the 6, but there is a skull on the 1. So the special symbol's on the 6, and there's a skull on the 1. I guess to kind of even out the odds on the weight of the cutout, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like I have to get those.
They're pretty fresh. I mean, they're basically your character dice. So you could use them as wounds. You could use them to specifically roll for, hey, I'm going to roll for my tech marine because these dice are red, whatever. They're pretty fresh. I won't lie. They're pretty cool. But it is what it is. It's something you don't have to buy. But the Primaris upgrade sprue comes with some shoulder pads and power sword. And the funny thing is, remember, all the pads and all the heads and everything are the same size as normal Space Marines to go with the Primaris Marines. So probably when we look at it, we're going to be like, wait a minute, is this normal dudes? And then when you look at the arms will probably look a little different, right? Because they're designed to work with the existing plastic shoulder pads and plastic heads, kind of future-proofing them for GW and also making it a little bit more convenient for us too, I would imagine. But
nice.
But yeah, there's some cool products coming out. You guys want to talk about some of the stuff from Forge World Open? Like there was
Certainly.
There was a lot of previews. So I think the big one that everybody took away, and again, this was the Forge World Open, but they were showing off plastic Necromunda miniatures, right? Which was the big teaser that we saw earlier in the week, that video teaser.
Well, wasn't it that like Forge World wasn't the rumor that Forge World was going to take over Specialist Games?
That is, I don't think it's a rumor. I think they said it at several seminars. So it's going to be interesting if Forge World is now in charge of plastic stuff. I guess they always kind of dabbled in plastic because some of their kits have plastic components, right?
Just the raw parts from the store, from the shelf component.
Right. But they never developed something plastic on their own, unless Blood Bowl's under them.
Across the parking lot from the rest of the company. So,
yeah, right. I mean, how does that work? Because Blood Bowl is a Specialist game, right?
Is that sold by Forge World or not?
Well, no, it's through the
GW.
normal.
So,
yeah, it's through the normal distribution channel. So, news from the show: the Necromunda set supposedly is going to be the Christmas time set. Now, remember last year we saw Prospero. The year before we saw Kelth. So all big box sets, tremendous value. The rumor is that the Shadow Wars Armageddon terrain is going to be included with the new boxes for Necromunda. It will also have a House Goliath and House Escher. Escher being the females, the sisters that aren't sisters, and the Goliath does the big brute kind of
guys. Yeah.
I don't know what Arnold movie. I mean, just pick one. Pick an 80s Arnold movie, and there you go.
Yeah, and to clarify some stuff, because I know some people were asking about this, like the Shadow War Armageddon. A lot of folks were like, hey, that's based on Necromunda. Those were based on the old Necromunda rules, which originally came based on 2nd edition.
Mm-hmm.
The Necromunda that's coming out now is based on 8th edition 40K. So it is completely new. It is not old Necromunda reprinted. The gangs will be the same. I hope so anyway, because I still have some of my old Arbites, the Enforcers.
Oh my gosh, so fresh.
They've said that all the gangs from the original would be represented, as well as the ones in the White Dwarf expansions, as well as they're talking about bringing Hive Secundus as an expansion for it too.
Yeah, they definitely said Hive Secundus might be an early kind of.
I literally don't know what anything.
So it was like from the Fanatic magazine when they put out.
Oh my God! Wow, that's going back a ways.
Yeah, it's Fanatic, not White Dwarf, but.
Yeah, they put out all sorts of extra content in there for a range of games. Remember the old Harlequin army was like Billy Badass. If you use the rules that were in, oh no, that was Journal. I can't even remember now. So many different publications, but so there's a lot of cool stuff now. Again, they're plastic models. The bases they showed off there, I thought were resin. They were so crisp and so well detailed. I was like, those are way better than those box sets they put out full of bases. Now granted, the newer ones, the Sector Mechanicus bases look a lot crisper than the older stuff. The very first round of stuff they put out, I was not impressed with. But these bases for Necromunda look super crisp and super fresh. And they're all like, industrial and all that coolness. And all you need is a little pumice, a little texture. Just throw it on there and boom, you've got a secondary base to use in games that maybe aren't Necromunda. Like if you want to put these in your normal armies, because as cheap and as easy, as readily available as resin bases are out there for a lot of people, and a time saver, I don't feel like resin bases can ever compete with plastic bases. But plastic bases haven't been on par quality wise with resin bases until the stuff we saw, these Necromunda bases. So that's, it might sound weird, but that's actually what I'm the most excited about is the bases themselves. Cause I kind of want to see what they're up to with those. But it's, go ahead. Oh,
I was just going to say, for like, there's some folks that don't really know what Necromunda was. And it's essentially very similar to Mordheim. But set in 40K. So it's a skirmish level game. You're talking about using 5 to 10 miniatures. And then it's a campaign. So your guys can actually level up. The survivors can level up and acquire skills from game to game. And it's actually very, very fun.
or they die and you have to start with noobs, and all of that. So because you have like recruit level guys and normal grunts and veterans that stay with your part. It's the ultimate warband game. I mean, like all these kind of RPG elements thrown into what we love about tabletop wargaming. I've said for years that if they came out with the legit Necromunda again with the gangs and not make me play with 40K factions, that it would be a GW game I'm back into. So now I got to put my money where my mouth is because this looks like they finally done it. So,
well, remember too, if you're more familiar with if you're more familiar with Mordheim was kind of like the Warhammer fantasy version of Necromunda in a lot of ways. So maybe that could get your kind of get your radar set right there.
I'm just curious because they just went through all the trouble of boxing up Shadow War Armageddon, right? And got the great terrain and all of that, and the rule book reprinted, and everything's good. And now they're going to change the rules again. It's like, it makes no sense to me. That rule set is actually like the best rule set, coherent-wise, that GW's ever done.
Yeah, it was an excellent rule set.
If Games Workshop drops below 45 miles an hour, self-destruct. That's my answer to everything now.
Pop quiz hot shot.
Yeah, pop quiz hot shot. What's coming out next week? Oh my God. It's so true though. You shoot the hostage. But no, I mean, I think there's a lot of cool stuff coming out. We saw they're still working on the Corn Dragon. I did see pictures of the Howdah that they sculpted up, like the saddle for the Corn Dragon. That looked pretty fresh. Kind of looked very like a cross between the Iron Throne and like something Conan would sit in, right? And
nice.
That looked pretty cool. The Custodes got their drop ship. I think it's like 275 pounds or something.
Ouch.
It looks fresh. I thought it was like Osprey like the the Marine Corps transport, like where it was tilt rotor, VTOL, but it doesn't look like that's. We saw the instructions for it over on Garrow's Facebook, and it doesn't look like it does that. It's just static, but there is an interior compartment that has like 8 seats, and that looks pretty cool. And then when some of the close-ups and stuff we've seen looks pretty fresh. It's still would like to see a better size comparison of it. There's also the Custodes Terminators. The Quilon Terminators, there's 2 different variants coming out. Now, those have rules in the Prospero book. However, the new Orion dropship does not have rules, and they said that there would be rules when it comes out for it. But I would like to see, me personally, I think Custodes are fresh. I would like to see them get some sort of better rules in 40K. I mean, I guess you could play Grey Knights with them. Like I was just talking about at the break. I was just thinking about like, hey, I'd really like to play, maybe one of these Dread Knight lists, but I'm not going to buy some more Dread Knights and convert them up and paint them up. I was thinking, well, maybe I could do Custodes and I can get some of those Telemon Dreadnoughts, and they're about the same size as a Dread Knight, and they have a Gatler. I would just have to get some sword bits and kind of pose them up and stuff, and they're a lot more posable. And then have some sort of thing where like, the Grey Knights are like hooking up with the Custodes to go like do some like Guilliman call stuff. And do it that way and make like combined arms kind of cool looking force, but it was really just all Grey Knight rules to begin with, something like that. But man, I really want to see more Custodes on the tabletop in 8th. You know what I mean? Maybe it's just a pipe dream, but it's my dream.
Your dreams are stupid.
Your dreams are stupid.
What do you remember of your mother?
A tortoise? What's a tortoise?
A tortoise.
It's kind of turtle.
Oh, it's 55.
Are you void comp testing Rob to see if he's
yeah, it's Sal in the chat has been losing his mind because we keep saying if Games Workshop goes under 45 miles an hour.
55?
55 miles an hour.
I was thinking about that. I was like, it's stupid if you go 45. Who drives 45 miles an hour?
And he's like losing his mind.
You wouldn't even have a movie. I can easily do the 45 bit.
Yeah, it's like the 10th time he's posted it. He's just every time we mention it. They have announced a new Warhammer 40K role playing game is going to come out as well.
Oh yeah, we should see some more on that. They're going to be talking about that at Gen Con.
It is called Wrath and Glory, and they farmed it out to Ulysses Spiel, North America.
God bless you.
Yeah, it's a smaller company. You know, obviously FFG is not going to be doing it for them anymore now that they're kind of rivals. So, yeah, exactly. This company is known for really the biggest game I've heard from them is probably Torg Eternity and Fading Suns. So I'm curious to see what they're going to do with Warhammer 40K. I mean, it's a huge IP. Just they landed it, so congratulations to them. And I feel like, you know, in this day and age, I don't think they can mess up an RPG. There's enough people have been playing RPGs for long enough that if you're working at a game company, you probably have your stuff together. I feel like they'll probably do a decent job with it. So looking forward to spending some coin on that.
Well, I have 2 points of advice for them. First one is don't get on fire. And second one is don't go below 55. And they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Easy.
Nice.
But I'm sure some stuff will come out at Gen Con. I'm sure a lot of things will come out at Gen Con.
Oh, yeah.
This week.
Yeah, that's this weekend. That's crazy.
It started right now, actually.
People there now. Floor open today, I think.
Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm so out of touch. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw a couple pictures on Facebook. People going crazy. I think our boy Justin, the Secret Weapon, is there.
Oh, of course he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see. I mean, we got a lot of people that we know out there, boots on the ground. You got somebody out there?
No. We're
You don't have a Spikey Bits secret agent out there?
I mean, I got a few. They'll be checking in and stuff, but nothing.
No
nothing.
No Keanu Reeves driving a bus level people.
No, nothing like that. No.
Fine.
Yeah, that's yeah. I wish we were cooler. Gosh, thanks, Kenny.
Tabletop Marketplace is stupid. What's the next thing?
This is stupid. I quit.
There was like a new codex that came out that some people cared about.
Oh, the Chaos Space Marine Codex?
The other one that you guys wouldn't let me talk about last week.
That's right, we didn't.
They totally shut him down. Totally shut him down.
We asked him what he thought about something, and he started talking about the Great Night Codex.
All right. Yeah, we asked him about chaos shit, and he was like, "Really, you're dead to me, Kenny."
No, you asked how to counter some specific thing, and he said with the Grey Knight Codex.
Touche, sir. Touche.
Fine.
All right. So the Grey Knight Codex is out. It's okay, I feel. It is not a great book. It is not a horrible book. It is, again, like Dread Knight Codex, honestly. If I feel like all the other stuff that has been added to it, you could kind of do by wrapping in some allies. The chaplain is a psyker, which is really cool. And they gave us 2 new flyers, the Storm Talon and the Storm Hawk. And Chapter Master Valdis is the realness right now.
Mm-hmm.
But really, the standout is the Grey Knight Grandmaster in a Dread Knight. That thing is... It's about 35 points more than a normal Dread Knight, but I feel like it's completely worth it.
Oh yeah, for the stat line.
Oh yeah, the stat line is ridiculous, and you get 2 psychic powers, which with the new psychic powers, the 3 new psychic powers that stand out are Vortex of Doom, Astral Aim, and Sanctuary is back. But the Vortex of Doom is, it's mortal wounds all day.
Oh, that thing is so sick.
It's so sick. Astral Aim is very situational, and I feel like Sanctuary is pretty cool if you have like, hey, I have a 4-up invul save. Now it's a 3-up invul save, and then you can you can combo it with them to make it 2-up invul save. Exactly.
Like there's lots of opportunity there if you pop it off.
Yeah. So the really big standout as far as rules go are, I would say, the Warlord traits and the stratagems, although I think some of the stratagems are still too expensive. But that's really the standout for the book. is those 3 pages of rules. But the other stuff that I was going to talk about, because most people won't read it anyway, is the actual fluff in the first 60 pages of the book. It's actually really pretty cool. They did, you've got the standard reprinted fluff that they put out all the time, but then they put out a couple of pages that I had never really seen before. And one was like an organizational chart of the 8 brotherhoods of the Grey Knights and who the Grand Masters are and exactly what they're comprised of. For like seriously fluffy players, you can play, if you want to play the 5th Brotherhood, it tells you exactly what they have, and you can build your armies around there. On that chart, it actually says that there are 44 purifiers. So back in 5th, when I was playing with 40 purifiers in Crow, there were 3 guys back guarding stuff. It was all good.
They're mostly standing at the portcullis, like
solid tactics and fluff.
Yeah, so I was still being fluffy without even knowing it. And then on the opposite of that page, they have another page that I really had not seen before, which is great. I feel it's going to be great for painters. It has the banners for each one of the brotherhoods and some history about that. And it's absolutely phenomenal. And then we have the heraldry of Titan that goes on and shows all the heraldry that goes on their shields and explains like who it actually belongs to and where they were. So that's actually really neat. Your idea to do Grey Knights with Custodes and actually would completely work, because part of the fluff that's going on right now is with that Cicatrice Maledictum, the big warp storm that severed the galaxy in half. The Grey Knights have their work cut out for. They are all over the place, allying with everybody, trying to put down as many demons as they can. So that stands out. The other part that stands out is, remember in 5th edition when they talked about the Grey Knights having Necron technology? Well, that is back. That's actually back in there now, where they talk about the Tesseract Labyrinths, but they kind of say that the Grey Knight Tech Marines don't know how to build them, and they have not figured out the alien tech, and that they are at odds with the aliens that gave them the tech, which we now know are Necrons. So at some point, there were Necrons and Grey Knights were fist bumping at some point. But yeah, so they have a hidden stockpile of Tesseract Labyrinths that they use to trap demons, and it will work on a greater demon, it says in here.
It's like the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, basically, which is pretty cool. And why'd you have to say that? Now I have to paint like at least 4 Grey Knights as Ghostbusters.
Proton packs and all. You could totally do it too, because the intercept guy. There's so many things that sound the same. The interceptors.
Yeah.
Interceptors look like they have proton packs, kind of.
Yep. So I feel like that's a thing now. The really big thing is this thing called the Terminus Decree. And the Terminus Decree has shown up in other Grey Knight codices. And what it is a secret box that's on it's in the tomb of the course I just forgot.
Malcador the Sigilite.
The Sigilite. It's in the Sigilite's tomb, and it has a seal on it that only shows up on the Golden Throne. So the only people that know how to open it are the Supreme Grandmasters, not the Buster Grandmasters. Only the Supreme Grandmasters even know what this thing is. And it's been told that like it's a super secret thing that they're only supposed to open when humanity is in its direst need, and it's either going to wipe out everything or save the Imperium in its darkest hour. And no one really knows what it is except for the Supreme Grand Masters. Now, because the warp is going crazy, Drago is actually showing up all over the place. He's kind of being like the Grey Knight's Gulliman. He just shows up wherever and fights, and then normally when the demon incursion is gone, he gets sucked back into the warp. Well, not only is he showing up more often, he's been able to control where he shows up, and he's being able to stay longer. And one of the last things in the fluff is that Khaldor Drago appeared on Titan to ask the Grand Masters for their counsel, and he told them what he saw in the Immaterium, in the warp, of what is coming down the road, and he's asking them to open the Terminus Decree. And that's kind of where the fluff part kind of drops off very ominously, you know? So I was just like, uh-oh, you know, when they are advancing the story, so we don't know what's going to happen. But those are the big fluff pieces that have changed, or the new stuff rather, that has come, you know, after Rise of the Primarch to the Grey Knights. And that's really about it.
Well, so outside of Dread Knights, that's the best part of the Codex.
Yeah, Dread Knights, and then, you know, I'm a particular huge fan of the Warlord traits, particularly a Warlord trait called First to the Fray. And what that does is anybody within 6 inches of your Warlord gets to reroll their assault charge range. And that is massive, because Grey Knights, even though they are kind of shooty, and they can't get there. Once they get there, they can do a lot of damage in close combat. But if they can't get there, it doesn't matter. So now it seems like you can deep strike everybody you want because there's no scatter. Deep strike your Warlord in last, perfectly situated, so everybody's within 6 of him, and then everybody gets to reroll their charge ranges. And that seems pretty good.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, without spoiling too much, that list is good. If you want to see more, check out the longwar.net. The newest battle report is out, and there's about 5 Dread Knights. So
yeah. But it's Codex Dread Knight again.
Yeah, but goodly,
but better than it was before.
Yeah, because you just
more better.
Well, before you could shunt and be right in front of the enemy, but you couldn't charge, and then they would hit you with like one grav cannon would like kill a Dread Knight. Yeah, like if a grav cannon like hit and wounded, and you just didn't pass any 5-ups, you were dead. Like it literally. So like that was just and then the shuriken cannons like would ran the shit out of you. Like it just wouldn't matter, and you only have 4 wounds. You know, like you never got to charge unless you were playing against somebody in the last game after you'd already lost 2 games. And so now it's Codex Dread Knight, but Dread Knights don't play games. Like it's a great balance. I like where the game's at right now, because close combat and shooting are not, they're never going to be equal in a game. But right now, when you have dudes who are like, I hit on 2s and wound on 2s, and I have some kind of reroll, at least you're saying that when my dude, who was a straight badass with his hammer, grabs your scrawny little neck, you're dead. Versus before, you'd be like, I got 4 attacks, I hit on 3s, I killed 2 Marines. You're like, oh, come on, man. So when you finally got there, you couldn't even really convert unless you got really lucky. So this is way better. This is way more exciting. If you want to play like Haspil like to play, and you want to get the people in the grill and make these amazing, you know, cinematic battles happen like they happen in your mind, there's a chance to do that now. When 5 dudes show up off of the teleportarium and they get to roll a 9 with a reroll, and 3 of your 5 dudes get there and it's go time, you're feeling good about yourself now.
Yeah, it's pretty fresh, and it's cinematic, you know. Like
no, it plays like it now. For the first time, you at least have the potential to make it play like you read, like it reads, you know. And it's good times in my opinion, man. So anyway, guys, let's take a commercial break before we go too hard in pain. I don't mean to cut you off there, Rob. I know what you were going to say was so important,
so very important,
so important. Veterans, I've got news for you. Get your best deals online at dicehead.com. Long War Vets, call or email for your best vet deals. That's dicehead.com.
Dear veterans, quickly, make your way to thelongwar.net and find out how to reap your hard-earned spoils of this long war. For our allies at secretweaponsminiatures.com have rewarded us all with an extra 10% discount on all Secret Weapon Miniatures merchandise. So stock up, dear veterans, and enjoy.
ElrixHobbies.com is your exclusive portal to upgrading your hobby. When you sign up at thelongwar.net, you gain an instant promotional discount good for 10% off at Elrix Hobbies. ElrixHobbies.com. And we're back with this incredibly important message from Rob Bear.
I already forgot what I was going to say.
We're back with this incredibly important message from Jason Craze.
So Sunday, if everybody was paying attention, late night, the banks crept into your house and actually stole the bread can under your bed with all of your cash. Please rush now and find it.
Nice. My cats guard my bread can.
Well, then maybe you're safe.
I don't even have a bread can. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, fuck, I might need to get on that.
I don't even know what a bread can is. I just make that shit up as I go.
Dude, have you heard of those people that like, they'll do that with cans, but they'll like bury it in their yard with like clam diggers? You know, they'll just like, they have those little tools like post diggers, and they just like make holes and like bury cash. Just randomly bury cash.
Yep.
I feel like it's to keep it away from the Bilderbergers and other people that are having those eyes wide shut parties. If we're gonna go, conspiracy, let's just go all the way.
Hold on, let me go get my tinfoil hat.
Alien sex trafficking is a thing.
Bonet, what is that? Stanley Kubrick movie? That Why Is That Shut?
Yeah.
Bonet like loves Kubrick, and she was like, I've never seen this movie. I'm gonna watch it. So like in my Beats lab, I can hear what's on TV, but it's just muffled enough where I can't hear like dialogue, but I can hear music. And I'm just like, I came out and I was like, what the fuck are you watching? She's like, finally watching this movie. And I was like, I hate to break it to you, but your boy sucks at directing. She's like, what do you mean? I was like, I'm in the other room and I can't hear dialogue, so all I can hear is the music score. I just want you to know for the last 45 minutes, all I heard was the same piano note hit straight. Ding, 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 ding. 45 fucking minutes in a row, Bonet. Like, that's what your dude got high on heroin, sat in the Beats lab with his composer and was like, you know what'd be sick is if you just didn't stop hitting that note. And then dude's like, you're a little genius, Stanley Kubrick. Like,
I'll do that.
She was like, oh my God, you're right. And I was like, yeah. Like, I'm telling you, this is bad. So that happened recently. But anyway, Jason has actual important news.
Well, we've had just in the weekly Twitch update, we've had a great week with the bromance. You, Sir Kinney, finished up an amazing model, or at least they're getting close to finishing up an amazing model. Lots of really good stuff happening.
I'm gonna give up. I think it's done.
I was going to say, I don't think that's called giving up. I think that's getting real. That was amazing.
Too real.
Get real. We got some product announcements. We got the Kolinsky Sable brushes that I've been talking about finally came in. They're all here. We announced it live last Friday, as a matter of fact. I think on Friday's stream, and they're over at slowfusegaming.com. We've got basically a set of 5 Kolinsky Sable miniature detail brushes. They start at size 00 and go up to size 3. It's our own sizing, so I know that the world didn't need another set of brushes with sizes, but trust me, they're all good for details. There's not a single what I would call a basing brush in that set, so it's just how small do you want to go. So those are out. We got that. We got the new paint racks out of prototype. That's good stuff. That's going to be up on the site coming up here pretty soon. I know you guys are going to get brushes in your hands here pretty soon, so you can let us know what you think about all that. And,
what is the site? Where do I go? How do I give you my money?
Slowfusegaming.com. I said it. You just don't listen to me.
I was
Monkeysdoingit.com.
I was hoping there was another site I could go to.
www.monkeysdoingit.com. Which by the way, Rob won't click.
Is that DOIN?
DOIN, not doing. Monkeys don't doing it. Monkeys doing it.
DOINIT.
DOINIT. Monkeys
okay,
doing
I'm just saying. I just want to make sure I get the actual real address. Okay, thank you.
He would not trust me enough to click the damn thing.
I don't trust anybody when it comes to clicking things in my stream.
Not even us.
Smart man. I was gonna say if there were 2 you could probably trust, it's probably me and Kenny, but probably smarter that you don't even do that.
You're the ones I don't immediately don't trust. Right off the bat, I'm suspect.
Yeah, I did this one. I did one time fuck up his website by accident. So
it was this one time.
Indirectly, even though I don't mean to, you just can't trust me.
But the funny thing was that people thought my site got hacked, which was
so bad they
hilarious.
it was a hack.
And I was like, yeah, that's totally it.
What happened.
Yeah, we're gonna fix it.
Was that the Dick Six Dicks episode?
Yeah. Rob hits me up with he's like, hey, I want you to go in there and make a bunch of drafts and save them with your account so that you're the author name. Then I'll go in there and write them so that people don't know you can't write because you're illiterate. And I was like, yo, that makes sense. What do I put in there for to save the draft? He's like, it doesn't matter. Anything. It could be hundreds of dicks. It doesn't matter. Just save it as a draft. And I was like, oh, cool. So I literally just proceeded to type out the word dick, copy paste once, then select all again, select all again, select all again, select all again. And then I was like, that seems about right. And then like, of course, I go to save the draft. And then like maybe on the fourth one, I published it. And then just like, cool, did my job, went home. You know what I'm saying? Without realizing what I had done. So I basically published a post that was probably 55,000, the word dick in a row. Dicks. And then, of course, RS feed, one RS feed or two RS feed later, it's on 100 places.
That's so good.
It's pretty awesome.
That is so good.
So
I'm not gonna lie, that's heroism going on right there.
So I understand when he says I can't trust you. I immediately just cannot trust you.
But me, there's no excuse. Like I haven't done any of that stuff. I love you, Rob. You can trust me.
I mean, you're an adult. I probably could. I don't know. Think about it.
Like a geriatric old man that takes wandering, like gets lost in silver alerts on the freaking highway.
Truth, but speaking of silver alerts, this is not a good segue. Chaos Codex.
There's a new Chaos Codex out,
which we did talk about last week, and we're really excited about all the point deductions and all the things that changed around, and we're really happy. It got a great treatment. Now, I don't know if we have anything in there as good as Dread Knights.
As good as five Grandmaster Dread Knights.
We might not actually have, like, so when you actually just look at the street power, like we have Brimstone Horrors. Okay, got it. Those are great. Now, they win you the game because they don't die. They don't win you the game because they straight murked your ass on turn one. So Grey Knights got some stuff. But what Chaos got was a variety of useful units, which was in the index. And in the codex, they gave us some much needed point reductions on some of the units. They also balanced horrors a little bit, giving us a point increase and the removal of the smite. So that was so they're cool. Listening. But we brought something up last episode, which we didn't know how GW felt about it, but we read it. This is a Chaos Detachment. Chaos Detachment has these keywords, and we were like, oh, cool. Brimstone Horrors don't get the keywords, so you got to do this. Oh, so if you go 1 + 1 = 2, what you get is, objective secure and all these cool things. But what we noticed was you couldn't bring in any Death Guard. You couldn't bring in any Thousand Suns. So the new cool set of sacred powers and stratagems, all that fresh stuff, unavailable to a non-Chaos Detachment. And so what we'd asked GW in our last episode was, hey, is this the intent? Because it says a Chaos Detachment is this. But the workaround is I can make a Chaos Detachment out of like a spearhead, take the HQ I want with the powers I want, still take Magnus, and he meets the keyword requirements to receive the power, that even though he himself doesn't have access to new heretical disciplines because of reasons. So I was like, so are you trying to reward us for playing this faction, or are you down with me just immediately finding a workaround? Like, what is it? I was like, just intent wise, what is the intent? I can see either way. Like I can see them going either way, but it read to me like the intent wasn't to do that. And so I was like, but I'm going to do it because I'm a gamer. So what's up, GW? And then 48 hours, 72 hours later, there's a Chaos Codex FAQ errata on there. And this is historical and unprecedented. Like, get ready for this. Like, I mean, literally, if you're standing, sit down. This has never happened before. They said the phrase, you don't even have to buy this book if you don't want to. And that's summarizing. That's not a quote. That's the emotion. They're like, you don't even have to buy this to play these psychic disciplines, the new ones presented here in this codex. They basically authorized us to do whatever we want. They said, you can take all these Thousand Sun motherfuckers, and they do in fact have access to the new heretic discipline, which is not what the Chaos Codex says. So it is an errata. So Chaos can do whatever they want, essentially. And you don't even have to buy this book to use these powers. Of course, the link, the phrase was, you don't have to buy Chaos Codex, and that's a hyperlink to buy the Codex and then to use these powers. But hey, that's literally, I've never heard GW be that chill with something like that. Like, you can use these powers all day, every day, man. You got some Thousand Suns shit? Yo, man, feel free. It's all good. Don't even buy the book.
I can't recall where they ever said, you don't need to buy this. I literally cannot recall that.
Now I know that
I don't think they have.
Jason's even older than all of you. Have you ever heard something like that from back when they used to write that shit on tablets? Not electrical tablets, but stone tablets.
I don't even have my ear horn with me, so I can't even hear what you're saying right now. No, they like never in their history have they been this kind of candor with it. With it's like, hey, this is great, have fun, go for it, and you don't even have to buy the book.
Well,
like they always say, cool. Go have fun, do whatever you want, but buy this motherfucking book right now. Like that's
Yeah, I feel that's really cool though, because like the Thousand Sons aren't out yet, right? So their book is coming. So I feel like they're saying, don't buy this chaos book if you just want these Hereticus rules, because when the Thousand Sons comes out, you're going to get the same rule anyway. So just buy that one. I feel like they're trying to like help people,
which is
out.
Historically unprecedented, because
that's still a good message. That's a good way to go.
Yeah, it's a good way to go, because then they're just like, hey, we don't need you to.
The business model's been the opposite of that for years.
Truth.
Buy this, fuck this book. Buy this, fuck this book. Buy this. You know what I mean? Do you remember EJ, the old our Durham battle bunker, Rob? Like our old crib, we used to kick it back in Durham. EJ had one of our best buddies, and he had that shelf of Imperial Armor books.
Yep.
It was a whole bookcase, like taller than me.
Oh, it was big.
The big bookcase, every shelf filled to the point where like books are like laid sideways on books. Like you know what I mean? Like it was filled to the brim with GW literature and mostly Imperial Armor. Thousands upon thousands of dollars. And he's like, shelves 1 through 3 are not even legal. And so now they're hitting you with like, meh, don't worry.
What's
the
super
book
fluffy?
Opposite of what they have been telling us in the past. So that's pretty huge, man. Like I think that's worth talking about.
No, it's a good precedent. And, at least they were upfront with Death Guard and T-Zone players that they're going to get access to Dark Hereticus.
It keeps people from being salty later.
Yeah, because, again, think about all the people that bought Index Chaos and started making their list. And then all of a sudden they're like, yo, we get this new hotness in this new book. Oh, wait, I can't get it. WTF.
Or Agents of the Imperium. I'll never forget. I'll never forget.
You were a salty little bitch that day, if you don't mind me saying. You were like, the sea is gone. You were like literally, that was the day that the Dead Sea meme came out, right?
That was the day that the Dead Sea meme came out.
The saltiest place on earth next to your bitch ass. Oh my God. But it was real. That's like, we have PTSD still from those.
There was a lot of people upset that week because everybody had this like idea that it was going to be sisters. And then we saw the preview and we were like, what is this book? Like, it doesn't even make sense. And then you had like other sites that didn't report it right, like even a little bit. Like they're like this and that, and this isn't in here, and we're like, no, that's not what this is. Like,
GW, get your shit together, and then they apparently have.
No. So that's really good. I mean, I'm in favor of that. I think that's a good step.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. And if you just to catch people up, so the situation is that obviously the new trend has been these books are coming out, these codexes are coming out, and they have that brackety keywords that hasn't been doing much for us has been getting filled now, right? With all sorts of new cool special abilities. And you have to be a detachment made up like of that faction or chapter or whatever, and you get access to all these new stratagems and whatever. Chaos is a little different because Chaos gets this huge expanded sacred power list because that's thematic to them. So they didn't go ahead and say this for everybody. They said it for Chaos because Chaos also gets special treatment because they have weird things like Thousand Sons and Death Guard, and they even go as far to say these guys have deviated so far that their rules are just not in this book. And so that led to everyone who was already playing Death Guard and Thousand Sons to be like, well, shit. But then us saying straight up on the podcast, there's an exploit. You just do this. We did that. We just took a little ass spearhead detachment with no troop requirement. But I was already taking 3 heavies anyway because spam, and a busted ass little sorcerer with a jump pack who has the new powers, including the Weaver of Fates, which is the one I wanted, so I can give a 3-up invulnerable to Magnus, so he can get a 3-up rerollable or rerolling once. And so I was like, well, just do this. You're good to go. They're like, now you're good. You don't even have to do that. So like, they're not even, so they went as far to say like, you don't need to buy this book and you don't need to come up with some gimmick that adds models to your army in a way you don't want to. Just Magnus knows the powers, bro. He's Thousand Suns. He's got it. So here it is today. After last week, we said Magnus doesn't get the 3-up invulnerable. He doesn't know that power. He doesn't know any of these motherfucker powers. He actually does. He can pull from all the powers himself. You can take Magnus as a super heavy auxiliary. He gets Death X, one of the new hottest powers, which strips people of their invulnerable saves. He also gets Weaver of Fates, which gives him the 3-up invulnerable. He gets all the dope shit. The new Diabolic Strength, if he ever needed that for some crazy reason. So tons of new powers. Shit is getting real. Chaos is getting stronger and stronger. And they're finally starting to become the enemies that the books tell us they are. Because before this moment, me and Haspil talk about all the time. This is just imperial propaganda. There is no threat. Abaddon, he like literally buys into the hype because he's like, yo, we literally are bad motherfuckers, aren't we? They go and fight a bunch of Marines on some random planet, and he comes crawling back to the battle barge all busted up with a black eye, and he's like, yo, we're not that tight. There's this guy down there. I think he's just a captain with this like special shield, like a shield eternal or something. And I literally couldn't do shit, bro. Drachnia, garbage. He hit me a couple times with his power fist, and I had to run like a little ass bitch. Like, we are not tight.
And some other chaos guys like, bro, I just saw Lucius the Eternal like die. Turns out not eternal.
Not eternal.
Yeah,
not eternal. So, but now we're getting back to basics. We're never gonna be 3.5 chaos strong. You know, we're never gonna be 5th edition Grey Knight strong. But we're getting play now, and this is a good time.
I was there when chaos was great.
Yeah, you were.
No, it's just exoskeleton. Oh.
No, I'm stoked. And like, you know, obviously I've been in the Beats Lab messing with chaos lists back and forth. And I am really happy with all the point reductions. I mean, like I said, chaos, it's like whatever list you had, if you played like me and you liked the demon engine, what's cool is I'm playing really thematically, even though I'm spamming stuff. It shows you in the chaos book is the hierarchy: demon prince, demon engines, sorcerers, demons. Like these are the hierarchy of their structure, lord, and then like everything else. And I'm like, okay, I've got a demon prince, I've got demon engines, I've got demons, I've got lords, like I got sorcerers, I do everything, you know. So I'm all into that. I love it. Love playing with, but if you play with the demon engines like Heldrix and stuff, the point reductions are crazy now. They're giving us 30 points off on the Bale Flamer, so actually you're cheaper with the Bale Flamer than you are the Hades autocannon now. You know, like Demon Prince got reduced points on his demonic axe. Like Mauler Fiends went down 9 points. You know, so, I mean, there's you pick up a lot of bonus points. So basically what happens now is I'm calling it Codex, you get a free Demon Prince. Because that's what's happened to all my lists. All my lists now either get some sorcerer to become a demon prince and to get like another squad of troops, which is actually usually what happens. Is so my 2K list got a unit of cultists for free, and one of my sorcerers became a demon prince.
And that's not bad either. Demon princes aren't.
Well, it's compounding. The demon prince is really strong for 180, but it's compounding because I always I sneak that into like a spearhead, so I don't have to take the troop. So that way that can be my one chaos detachment, so I can make him my warlord and be Iron Warriors. Because, you know, you can get the exoskeleton, you can get the 2-up save, you can get the extra wound, you can get the wound regen and the 6-up feel no pain. That's all free, man. So you have a dude running around with Demon Prince, running around with a 2-up save, gets a wound back every turn. It's 9 wounds, still a character under 10, you know, like small dude wound. I mean, dude is strong, but the best part is I love to sneak in. You owe it to yourself. You play chaos now, even if you didn't before, because you love Brimstone Horrors, you got to sneak in a unit of cultists now because of the Tide of Traders stratagem. It's so good.
Yeah, that's the one where you get to play it and then you bring them back full strength across the table.
You don't even have to wait for that, bro. It's 2 command points. You literally place them on any board edge with up to 6 inches, 9 inches away from the enemy. It's like they're coming on like super outflank anywhere, any board edge. No left, right, just like literally 6 inches off a board edge, and they're back to unit size full strength. So if they take casualties, whatever, now you're back to full strength. If you can make a 20, you can get a 20-man squad. That's clutch. But I'm also talking like it's a teleporting occultist squad. That's huge, man. That's like I need to be in your backfield right now. Boom, I am in your backfield. That's huge. So like basically what I got was a Demon Prince upgrade with all those powers I just stated, plus a cultist unit that can teleport around the battlefield. And that's the way I treat the power, is it's teleporting cultist. So I mean it's pretty good, man. and like we actually broke a cool combo earlier on the webcast, which is like my combo of the week, I would say, for Chaos, because like Chaos is my shit. At least right now. Grey Knights was my shit once upon a time, and I'll probably get back to that too. But the combo, my new combo is you get a Demon Prince, the Diabolic Strength, which is one of the new powers. That's the power I give him. Plus he gets +1 attack, +1 strength. So now he's 8 attacks with his claws, and he strength 8. So now he usually wounds on 2s, right? Or vehicles on 3s instead of 4s, or big vehicles on 3s. So it's pretty cool. 8 attacks, hit on 2s, rerolling 1s because Demon Prince, that's one of his abilities, and a shitload of wounds, right? But prescience is +1 to hit. So you throw prescience on him, he boosts up with Diabolic Strength, you can warp time him into combat. He's got all these 2-up saves, regenerate wounds, everything. And if you're going up against, I do this combo against Imperium because of Death to the False Emperor, is anytime you roll a 6 on a hit roll against the Imperium, you get to generate more attacks that you also have to roll to hit. So you apply modifiers after reroll. So you throw 8 dice in the air, pick up all your 1s, reroll those 2, apply the modifier, all 5s become 6s, thus generate new attacks, throw those in the air, hit on 2s, reroll 1s. They don't generate further attacks though. But you typically end up making like 12 hits, something like that, you know? And this dude aces units now, and nothing has changed. He's not 1 point more expensive. He gets more abilities than ever before, and he's more destructive than ever before. Still only 180 points. Like, I'm not spamming him, but I got 1 in the pocket. You know what I mean?
Why aren't you spamming him?
Because I'm spamming Helldrakes and Mother Fiends, my kindred spirit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think those are probably. I mean, Helldrake does that work where it ties things down that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, my style of Chaos is definitely not a tabling style. Like I'm all about like tying things up, moving around, disengaging. Like I play a weird. I mean, I play a lot of cool. Like I like hardware. I like cool, scary hardware. I will always play that. You know, and I played it when it sucked bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there was 2 Malefiends in every army I ever played, all the way through 6th and 7th edition, when a single grab gun shot immobilized me on turn 1. So, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't never gonna stop. The wombo combo of Chaos, for sure. But anyone else got anything before we go into our final segment?
No.
Was that it? All right. Well, I guess it's time to stop laughing for 5 fucking minutes.
Ugh.
Because some bad shit happened.
Yeah, this sucks.
So, guys, listeners, friends, family of the show, Juice was going to be here tonight, and he actually was.
Yeah.
He was here on the webcast, doing his best and everything, but he actually had to bow out in the after hour segment. He confessed to me. He's like, I'm just getting too emotional. It's getting too hard for me, man. I thought I could do it tonight, but I can't. Tell everyone I'm sorry. So if you guys haven't figured it out already, Chris, for his brother, died last night of the same gastric cancer, small cell cancer that claimed the life of their father a mere 18 months ago. This is a hereditary form of cancer. It's in their family, it's in their history, it's in their lineage as Japanese Americans. So it's a big deal, man. And they are all getting tested now. Juice's results will be back in this week because this is real, man. Like, this is a real thing. So Juice wanted me to convey to you guys, he's like, the realness of that. Like, if you have any type of family history whatsoever, you know, like, we won't even talk about the politics of healthcare or anything like that. You have to get tested. Like, you just can't wait, man. Like, Chris basically is a catalyst for his family. He feels like Chris's death is going to save lives in his family, is what he told me today. Because they're all getting tested now. They're all trying to see, getting biopsy, CT scans, MRIs, all this stuff, man, all that crazy stuff. He wants you guys to take it seriously. He wants everyone to know that everything you guys are saying to my line matters. Like he like is helping, like everything, like all the prayers and the positivity, like that really is helping him. His mother, you know, obviously is feeling it too. He says that can't even believe this community and the support she's receiving. The GoFundMe has been blowing up. We're going to promote that a little bit more politics shit we won't talk about cost of burying loved ones in weird circumstances, but we got a little bit more work to do, a little bit more donating, I think, as a community. And it's not even fair to call everyone a community right now. We're like, it's family. Like, and and the family support's been huge. Hopefully Juice will be back next week. We don't know. Anyone local to North Carolina, like literally hit up Juice, say hi to him, give him a hug because he needs it, man. Like, dude is the rock of his family, an emotional pillar, strength for his family, but he does feel it all. And he doesn't have a lot of people to lean on. He does have his beautiful fiance, Allie, who's there for him. So it's not all that, but you will hear more from this week. We don't know when he's coming back to the battle reports. We don't know when he's coming back to the podcast, but hopefully it's soon.
Nobody's going to rush him. Take that time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And last time he kind of got right back into it, and he said it was just too much, man. He tried to be, like, dude, obviously dude's a beast, you know what I'm saying? Well, we will post links. I see people in the chats asking, like, I'll put a link up. It'll be all good, guys. Thank you. And that's enough from me.
Haspil, take us out.
Lo, there do I see my father. Lo, there do I see my mother and my sisters and my brothers. Lo, there do I see the line of my people, back to the beginning. Lo, they do call me. They bid me take my place among them in the halls of Valhalla, where the brave may live forever.